This is Dabu7. Some updated information in regards to the events that took place yesterday in Cleveland. This is an event we covered till early this morning, where pretty much all the chatter started to go quiet. There was a lot of running around different places, different cities that had reports that the police were in them with choppers in the sky, with their lights out, and just multiple reports of potential sightings of this individual. Now, this thing has red flags all over it. Right out the gate, it was pushed as a Facebook Live event. Some outlets still pushing this. After they stated last night, maybe around midnight, the AP finally came out and put a post out and said that this was uploaded, that Facebook has officially stated that this clip was not done live, it was uploaded, like all the rest of the clips that he had. Problem is they took down his Facebook, and we had no way of going back and looking into anything any deeper. Then we had the issue with a ton of fake Instagram accounts that came out the woodwork, left and right. People were buying into all types of them just because the follower amount. And even on Twitter, the same thing was happening, fake accounts. And if that wasn't bad enough, we had at least 9 fake GoFundMe accounts last night that were kicked up. And even though the grandson of Mr. Godwin, the man that's said to have been shot and deceased in this event, he stated that he would put something out on Twitter if there was a link or anything, something official that they backed. And people were going out of their way to make fake stories saying, grandson said that he's going with this one because GoFundMe is supporting it. And people were picking up on that and copycatting that. And I can't help but think that if someone created one of these fakes and seen they were making money, because one of them had like $20,000 last night, that they created another. But this is where GoFundMe released an official statement, and this kind of backfired on all the greedy SOBs out there that were trying to take advantage of this situation. They said that every single dime to any account in this man's name is going to the family. So I hope you like that. If you're listening out there, those of you that propped up these fake GoFundMes to try to get rich overnight, they're taking the money anyway. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you're getting a knock at the door and possibly prosecution for scamming people in a situation like this. So that was some of the other theatrics we had to work through, on top of fake and false images being spread through those fake Instagram accounts where people were photoshopping images left and right. Tried to show one where he was walking around in the streets where it said, "Oh, looking for my next victim." And it was actually a clip they took from his YouTube channel where he was walking around at the Cleveland Cavs event. So a lot of doctored and manipulated stuff out there. It shows you just how many people out there will spend and waste their time creating and pushing disinfo just for laughs, for whatever, instead of getting to the truth. That's sad. And we had Erick downtown live, and we had B running around all over the place and on his way to the crime scene when LAPD decided to take it upon themselves to call CPD, Cleveland Police Department, and say, you got a vigilante running the streets, you got to take him out. Then we pulled the Broadcastify, and you could hear them saying, this kept referencing his Punisher shirt. He has a Punisher shirt on. It's almost like it triggered something in them when they saw that. It was weird. They came up, did a thorough search on him. One of the first things they said is, you're with media. And he was still live streaming. And after that, they zapped his stream with like 20,000 people watching, took it out. Then he gets pulled over and goes to take off. And they're telling him, they ordered him to cease and desist. They're like, you're going to have to get out of here. We heard this over Broadcastify. The orders were coming in basically from, I'm assuming, L.A., which makes no sense. And a woman was reciting all this, that we got calls. The dispatch lady was saying we got calls in from LAPD's office that they're watching the live stream. The mayor's watching the live stream. All this other stuff, but yet the mainstream media was silent. So they had 2 cops in each car, a 10-man crew on B, and then followed him out of there to make sure he wasn't still roaming the streets. And then his stream gets zapped. Not making this stuff up, and it's happened before. Stream gets zapped again, over 30,000 people watching. They wipe it out. Everything in the vehicle gets drained down to 1%. Even the dash lights flickered. It happened to us before. So it's not the first time. When we were in Cleveland for the RNC over the Broadcastify, I caught a cat team tracking him out of a bathroom because there were guys with guns sitting there, and they walked up and said something to him before he went into the bathroom. He wasn't even with them, just was near them for the moment, and we picked up that the cat team was watching and tailing him. When we were in D.C., they zapped everybody's phones, wiped Eric's completely out. I was live, hit mine to where it just kept going on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, draining the battery down. In D.C. this most recent time, it was like there was a bubble in the streets. You couldn't get out any information, any texts, any tweets, anything until you were like 2 blocks down the street away from the action and away from the police. Then everything just started coming through. So I said last night, how come they're not pinging this guy? They could track down B in an instant. This guy is where? There's sightings all over the place. And as I stated, they have got to know if this guy's been on social media, which he was at times, making accounts private and everything. His phone was pinging. They know which direction he went in. And there was no announcement to the media, any other towns. All we got was that he may be in different states, Indiana, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Then we come to find out here this morning or this afternoon, they're stating that his cell phone was pinged around Erie, PA. So if that checks out to be legit, then that means he went in that direction. And there's no way they're picking up these pings and they haven't had something. There's no way. There's no way. This thing just stinks through and through. None of the mainstream outlets went to the crime scene. Not a single one showed it. Showed where the man hit the ground, where they had it taped off. None of it. Instead, they refocused on these 2 individuals, that guy's grandson and his girlfriend or wife, and what they had to say. Not a single bit of footage of down there at that crime scene. That's why I said it was critical that someone gets down there and sees if there's blood on the ground. That sees what's there. Maybe you catch a witness. Maybe you find or see something. We need that information. At this point, that's where it all sits. This man's still on the run, the suspect. What they were saying was a Facebook Live shooting, which was not. Ended up saying that he uploaded it. Then there's speculation about all the rest of the footage. This man's still running around is the main thing here. A lot of suspicious things tied to this. And what this guy said, he shot like 13 people in one of those feeds. That turned out to be a complete lie. There was other shootings last night, but I haven't seen anything in connection to this. In Cleveland, 2 people were shot in the head in what looked to be a drive-by. We never did get to the bottom of that. And all we can do is continue to keep digging on this. But I wanted to get this information out there and let it be known. This is where it sits right now. The man's still running around. And I know they've got a ping on where this guy's at. He's got a 2016 Ford. They can track these things. But yet he slipped right past all of them. And that's where it sits, unfortunately, guys. So make sure you're following me on Twitter, at Dabu7 on Twitter. Bookmark undergroundworldnews.com. And I will continue to update with more as I come across it. Shout outs to everyone out there that participated in trying to get valid information through to us last night, and those that continue to do so, and those that share the streams and information. It's appreciated more than you know. It's been Dabu7. Much love, y'all.